attorney of a NASA law firm where I work with online service providers to help them establish a solid legal foundation for business. That means contracts, trademarks, and legal strategy for business protection and business growth. I'm here on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, hey, all the platforms. And so I want to do a quick live on being proactive versus reactive in business when it comes to legal, right? So you essentially have two choices. Number one, you get in front of the legal parts of your business, period. Or number two, you let it trip you up. There's really no way around it. When it comes to the legal in your business, it is something that is required, right? You can't operate, you can't make money without doing the legal parts of your business and doing them correctly. So you either get in front of it or you let it trip you up in the long run. And I'm going to break down exactly what that could look like because it's not always lawsuits. And I say that because we have been conditioned and exposed to the law in the form of lawsuits, right? Whenever we see lawyers in play, we see a courtroom in like the movies, the media, right? Television shows, we see a courtroom, people on opposing sides, somebody's getting sued, somebody's about to pay some money, someone is going to jail, right? This is what we see when it comes to the law. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Happy New Year. This is what we see when it comes to the law. And so it is reasonable for us to grow up and think like, when it comes to the law or when it comes to the legal parts of my business, like this is something that, I need to make sure I get correct so I don't get sued or so I don't get in trouble or so I don't get fined, right? That's how we think about it, that we need to make sure we're on our P's and Q's so we don't get tripped up. But that's not number one, that's true, but that's not where we can leverage it. That's not where we can take advantage. And I'll say, especially for Black business owners, which I am myself, what we've seen with the law and our relationship with the law when it comes to police and laws and regulations, all the way dating back from when people were enslaved to Jim Crow and segregation, right? Our relationship with the law it is not a trusting one, right? It's not something that we usually look forward to. Again, it's making sure that we get out of and stay out of trouble. When it comes to business, in order for us, hello, Soror, when it comes to business, in order for us to get to that next level, right? In order for us to grow, in order for us to scale, in order for us to protect and leverage our intellectual property, we have to get to a point where we are being proactive with the legal parts in our business and not reactive, right? That means taking strategic steps to set your business up to be protected and for growth and success versus just only taking actions to make sure you are protected or to correct something that's gone wrong. So proactive versus reactive, right? Again, two choices. You either get in front of it, or if you don't, you're going to let it trip you up. There's no getting around it because legal appears in too many parts of our businesses, from forming our business, right? At the state or the local level, all the paperwork and compliance that we have to do, keeping up with that business entity, because it's not enough to just file your LLC. We have to make sure that we keep up with it, right? Establishing a bank account so we make sure we don't commingle our funds. When it comes to hiring properly and correctly, and making sure we're following any laws when it comes to using those employees or those contractors. And then protecting your intellectual property, right? Putting digital products out there, having a website and getting into partnerships, and all of these different things as you're getting up and up and up in business, they have legal parts to it. And so what it looks like to, let's start off, get tripped up by it, right? Again, it's not just lawsuits. Lawsuits for sure mean that you're getting tripped up by legal, but what it also looks like is not being able to hire because you're unclear of whether they're a contractor or an employee, or hiring incorrectly for the same reason, right? Being afraid that you're not following the laws or getting fined or in trouble about not hiring correctly, right? So making sure that you have a team is important because it can't just be you running a business that you want to grow and scale, right? It doesn't always look like that. You need some assistance so that you have the time to do the money generating activities. That means bringing on a team the right way. Again, legal is involved there. And if you don't do it correctly, that's something that could really, really trip you up. Um, Not knowing what it takes to protect your brand is something, unfortunately, that trips up a lot of people, right? Not understanding what your intellectual property is, what value it has for you in your business, right? How you can leverage it, what you can do with it. Those are all super important things. And if you don't understand that, or if you don't get in front of it, then it is something that will trip you up. We hear too many stories about creators and business owners, coming up with things and not being able to protect them because a bigger company came in and, swooped up and took it for themselves, or they just had the legal strategy. So they knew how to finesse and maneuver around that, right? So brand protection, super important to know what you can trademark, what you can copyright in your business, and then how you can leverage those things to make more money, right? And be a successful business without having to put all that work in. Another way that your business gets tripped up when you don't get in front of the legal first is clients, right? Having bad clients because you haven't vetted them properly with regards to qualifications, right? That's something that helps protect your business. That means you have more people asking for refunds. You have more clients who are not paying. That means that your contracts aren't looking too tight, right? So all of these things connect back to something that is legally related or legally adjacent to your business, even though it doesn't seem like it at the outset. That's why when I'm always talking about contracts, I'm talking about client experience because it's directly tied to your client contract, which is the foundation of your client relationships. That's where you lay out the boundaries and the requirements as to how to work with you. So if you're having issues with clients, that's one way that legal might be tripping you up. Being just stuck in business and not being able to make a sound decision because you don't know if it's legally related, right? A lot of times I talk to business owners who want to do something but don't know how to go about it because they're afraid they don't have the protection or they're afraid they're not going to do it right. And that leaves people just not doing something or going out there and doing it incorrectly. And either way, you have that cloud, I call it, that gray cloud of just doubt and risk and not knowing if you are moving forward correctly or with clarity, right? And that is burdensome to carry as a business owner. You probably hear my little one screaming in the background. He's just having fun with his toys. So we are all good. Now, what does it look like to get in front of that? To make it plain and simple, the first step is to just talk to an attorney. As a business owner, whatever your expertise is, whether it is real estate like Chris, whether it is scrapbooking or blogging, like you're an expert in what you do, right? You are an expert in what you do. You're not expected to know the legal parts in and out the legal parts of your business because you didn't go to law school, right? Or you're not an expert at reading the law and, being compliant and all of that. And as a business owner, it is our duty to reach out to experts when we don't know something. You best believe that I reached out to an expert about marketing and sales and messaging. And I still have people helping me with that when it comes to business because I'm not an expert. And when people reach out to me, they know that legal stuff has to be taken care of in their business and they're not an expert. So they want an expert such as myself to help them deal with that, right? Because when you talk to an expert, you learn so much about what you didn't know, what you need to do, and just implementing strategy about moving forward, right? So the simplest thing that you can do to be proactive, to get ahead of or in front of the legal parts of your business is talk to an attorney so you know exactly, so you know and understand exactly what it is that you have to do. That is my spiel for y'all. A reminder at the top of the year that it's way better to be proactive versus reactive. It's a lot less expensive to be proactive versus reactive. And I'm not just talking about cost here. I'm not talking about money, but I'm also talking about time and energy, right? All of those things cost other resources. It's not just about money when it comes to expenses. So if you are curious as to whether your business is currently protecting you or how you can leverage the legal parts in your business, what your intellectual property is, and how you can use it to achieve your goals or open additional streams of income, reach out to me for a legal strategy session, because that's something that we can figure out and plan out for the future. Additionally, I am hosting a contracts work session on January 26th for a few people. We are literally going to sit there, and for 2 hours, I'm going to walk you through a live assessment of a client contract. So you can find those basic red flags, basic to me because I know what they are and I continue to see them, but not basic to you, right? So you can actually find the red flags that might be harming you in your business, that might be tripping you up when working with clients, that might be leaving money on the table, right? Causing you to encounter more refund requests than you should, causing you to have clients who ghost you and don't respect your policies, right? Let's find those red flags. If you are ready to continue bringing on clients, serving them, and making money in your business, remember that your client contract is the most important, the most critical element to doing that, because it is the foundation of your client relationship. So send me a DM if you're interested in the contracts work session. That is January 26th at 3 p.m. West Coast time, or you can catch the recording. If you have any questions, hey, Kalisha. Ooh, I was missing the comments. Happy New Year, Micah. Thank you for turning in. Hello, is it Jida? Jida? I'm gonna get that. Jihad. I'm gonna get that right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Kalisha. Thank you for tuning in. Thank y'all on Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out to me via DM or Messenger. All right, y'all. Have an amazing day.